Welcome to Manifesting with Mom. My name is Amy, and I'm so excited to share with you what November has in store for all of us. We are alchemizing shame and low self-worth on a whole new level. So make sure you watch until the very end, because there's going to be some golden nuggets that are going to be shared here today that are really going to truly help you get you through when all of these patterns of unworthiness and shame show up in your life. Let's hop into it. So to help you understand what's happening right now on a collective, and if you've been coming up against the walls of shame and unworthiness, this is really going to put things into perspective for you. So just like an addict who is addicted to alcohol or drugs or sex, when that person decides to get clean, you have to go through a process. It's a process to become clean. And what is happening for a lot of us here who are spiritual leaders and intuitives and light workers is we are being made clean. We are being purified literally from this collective shame and unworthiness. It's felt like it's been around forever. To our egos and to our souls, it's been so here for so long, across generations and timelines. And it's time. It's just time to really, truly alchemize the patterns of shame and unworthiness. So what that can look like in your life is a draining of your bank accounts, your businesses falling apart, relationships coming to a head, and a lot of chaos and conflict happening in your life. It could be the voices of unworthiness and shame getting really, really loud when you thought you've dealt with that, when you thought you came to a place of overcoming. And I want you to know that that's okay. We are going deeper into the abyss and the collective shame and the collective unworthiness, the matrix, so to speak, the box that has been built in the collective consciousness that says, I am not good enough and there's something wrong with me. So when you find your mental activity going to what's wrong? What's wrong? What do I need to fix? What do I need to fix? That is that pattern playing out in your life. And if you think about it, patterns, I'm even seeing this painting behind me, okay? Whenever we have a pattern, it's not just one thing. It's multiple things. So patterns could have showed up 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 9 years ago, around this same sort of topic, this same theme of shame and unworthiness. And then all of a sudden, more of that pattern starts revealing itself. But anytime you have a pattern, you have to be able to get glimpses of pieces of it until you see the full big picture. I don't know if you're familiar with cross-stitching or something like that. I mean, there's a pattern that shows you the big picture, but you have to start with one tiny thread. Anytime we're releasing patterns, there are multiple layers of those threads. So when it comes to shame and unworthiness, please just remind yourself of this. Come back into your center, come back into the now, and remind yourself that this is okay. This pattern is showing up as part of the larger scale of shame, the grander full picture of unworthiness. And we are here to receive and embody the alchemy of that, because true alchemy is true transformation. That means that pattern of low self-worth, of unworthiness, of shame can no longer look the same. The form of it has to transform. It has to become something completely different, as though the pattern of shame and unworthiness will no longer exist as that form. Alchemy is transformation. And we are always alchemizing. We are always transforming. We are always going through this process of transformation as a living human being here on this earth. And what we have to remember is that is really uncomfortable to our ego, because our ego doesn't like change. It wants to prove everything it knows based on the patterns that have shaped its life. So anytime a new shaping is taking place, a pattern is being lifted from the ashes and being shown so that we can get the full picture of it, the ego doesn't like that, because it's so used to the form it knows, because it feels safe and comfortable, and it does not like to be uncomfortable because the ego doesn't want to transform, because the ego believes that if it transforms, it will no longer exist and die. But what it doesn't understand is that we are here as an embodiment of that experience. And the ego is actually going to be set free through this alchemy. It is here to completely absorb and dissolve into our soul, to serve the soul, to serve the higher versions of ourselves, the higher consciousness of ourselves. So the reason the ego gets really loud, which is those patterns of unworthiness and shame, is because it's trying to get your attention. It doesn't want to die, you guys. It doesn't want to dissolve. It doesn't want to change. It doesn't want to transform because it is so scared. It doesn't know what that new form looks like, feels like, and what's going to happen. So it's really important during this time to nurture yourself even more and to celebrate. Alchemizing shame and unworthiness is something to be celebrated, because what is on the other side of that is grace. And the true us, the true authentic self, is under grace, not under law. The ego is under law. Yes, there are laws of the world. There are laws of the universe, which we have to respect and even admire being human. However, our spirit, our authentic self, is under grace and not under law. Grace supersedes all laws in the universe. So one of the things that you can give to yourself is even the affirmation, I am under grace and not under law. Because what that does is it helps you surrender all of the patterns that are showing up around shame and unworthiness. And you're surrendering it to a higher power. You're surrendering it to your higher self, which is under grace. And grace says, I talk about this a lot, grace says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that your bank account is ground zero. It doesn't matter that your business is being demolished. It doesn't matter that your relationship is falling apart. It takes everything external that is happening in your life and says it doesn't matter, because everything has within it the power to be transformed, to be made into a completely new form. That is alchemy. And under grace, alchemy is magical. I stopped there for a second because I could feel it. If you think about it, under grace, it happens effortlessly, despite the ego's efforts, despite the ego's agenda, despite what the ego knows, despite how much the ego tries to beat you up over all of your mistakes and all of your failures. And sometimes on the verge of alchemy, if alchemy was like a ledge right now, and I was standing on the ledge of alchemy right now, the ego would be panicking and screaming as everything gets thrown off this ledge and it's got no more attachments left and nothing to grab onto. And it doesn't know how to survive with nothing to grab onto. But it is a gift. It's a gift. It's liberating you from the attachments to the external and showing you that you are free to transform. You are free to form something new for yourself in your life that you've never experienced yet, that you've never seen before. Something so amazing. But you cannot see that hanging on to fears, doubts, limitations, the patterns of shame and low self-worth. That's why it feels sometimes really intense. It's only intense to the patterns that the ego is attached to. But you, who you truly are, is under this covenant of grace. And grace says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if you can look through the lens of, seriously, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My bank account's at zero. Doesn't matter. My business is crashing. Doesn't matter. My relationships are falling apart. It doesn't matter, because what happens within the power of it doesn't matter is a new form can take place. Your relationships can be completely alchemized. Your business can be completely alchemized. Your bank account can be completely alchemized, you guys. When you let go of the attachment to those things, the pattern of shame and low self-worth. This is so important and actually a really exciting time. This is being highlighted from October into November and moving forward. So it's going to be really important for you to cultivate this awareness of, it doesn't matter, I'm under grace, not under law. I'm under grace, under law. That's similar to saying I'm in the world, but not of the world. In the world is under all the laws that the world makes and the laws of the universe, which, because we're here, we need to respect and admire, because when we admire the intelligence of oneness, which actually includes even the illusions and the patterns of the world, we alchemize them. They don't hold power over us. So this "it doesn't matter" attitude is not one of complacency and disregard. It's one of truth and stepping into the power of, okay, all of this can be happening, and I know the truth that I am covered by grace. And it doesn't matter, because I am actually here to experience transformation. I am here to experience one form to the next, to the next, to the next. And all form exists because of nothing. It comes from the formless. So anything that you're attached to through the lens of shame and unworthiness, if you really want to experience true worthiness and true liberation and abundance, you cannot do that holding on to the attachments of unworthiness and shame. You have to come to know what you truly are, that you are covered by grace. And it's from nothing to something, from formless to form, and you're not limited to one form. You're just not. I'm really excited. I have been experiencing this personally in my own life, and it's been uncomfortable. It's been really uncomfortable. So I want to tell you that you're not alone. And when those voices get really, really loud, that is the time to soothe yourself and write everything the voice is saying down. Write it down and then burn it. Write it down and be the space of love for it. Because those are the patterns that are just being brought to the light. And the light is you. Don't ever forget that. The light is you. The patterns are the things that need to be seen by you so that they can be truly alchemized and transformed into something that you, the human being you, has never experienced before, never seen before. Isn't it amazing? Please post in the comments if you are experiencing this in your life and how this has helped you to show the world and everybody else that is going through this that you're not alone. I love you. Stay blessed, stay grounded, and we've got this. We're all going through this together. Much love.